Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Gucci here with another video for you guys. This is just in regards to the new spec I believe I'm going to start testing out, which is centered around the Hoplite Mystic enchant. If you guys have any suggestions regarding the build, please feel free to drop them in the comments below, as I am always open to suggestions as well as a want to, improve this build as best as possible, because I am actually really liking it so far. So without any more rambling, let's get into the build. Alright guys, so before I even get into anything, I want to forewarn you that I am not using a script. I'm just going off of everything, off the top of the dome. So I may get a little annoying saying and a lot, but you guys have been warned if you continue to watch the video. So obviously I start off with Hoplite. For the three epic rarity mystic enchants, I went with Sinister Flurry, I went with Tides of Battle, and In for the Kill. For the other ones, I went with the ones that can't stack. I went with the Mental Gymnastics, which is reduced physical ability cost by 4%, and then I went with 4 of the increased damage of your physical abilities plus the other, one that I don't care about. And then I also went with the Poleaxe specialization, and then I went with Precision for 2% hit. So, and then the ones that you can stack, I went just with 2 of them. Demonic Rend, because obviously I'm going to be using Rend a lot, and it's not when you cast Rend, it's when you deal periodic damage with Rend. So, and Rend's always going to be up due to In for the Kill. So I just thought it was a good idea. Plus, it was already in my collection and whatnot. So, I just decided I think that was going to be the best thing possible, because of the increased damage done by however much, 2% times whatever the 100% times 2, it gets kind of confusing. Then I went with Blade Twisting for the increased Sinister Strike damage by 9% after the 3 in total. So those are my mystic enchants, and then onto the talents now. Alright, so starting with the uncommon abilities that I got, I picked up just all buffs, and so I got Mark of the Wild, I got Battle Shout, and then I got Blessing of Kings. Now, I mainly picked up Mark of the Wild for the armor increase, as well as, obviously the attribute increase, but mainly the armor to increase my attack power with the talent that I got in the warrior tree, which I will get into in just a second. But yeah, so those are the buffs I got basically. It's all just to get as much damage and stuff like that out. I didn't really pick up like Power Word Fortitude or Lightning Shield or anything like that. So next is the rare tier, and I picked up Aspect of the Beast, Battle Stance, Seal of Wisdom, Blood Rage, Colossus Smash, Mortal Strike, Piercing Howl, and Rampage. Now let me explain a little bit as to why I chose some of those things. Obviously you have to get Battle Stance. Aspect of the Beast, I just think is the 5% attack power bonus is pretty good. Instead of having to spend talent points on it, I just decided to spend ability points on it and just get a buff like that. Seal of Wisdom, I picked a couple heals. I picked, I think, 3 heals, and I think that this would go very good and go hand in hand with keeping your mana up and whatnot, and just being able to pump out heals when needed and on demand, instead of you only get 1 or 2 sets of heals off and then you're for the rest of the fight. You have more, it's more of just a defense type of deal going on here. Yeah, so Blood Rage I picked up because obviously you need Blood Rage as a warrior, and I like to start off with this spec with Blood Rage, because to do the javelin throw and get that going and ticking, so I can do Colossus Smash and whatnot, and to reset that cooldown on the javelin. And Mortal Strike I picked up mainly due to the healing debuff, and that's really all all I got it for. And damage, that goes without saying. Piercing Howl, I always think you need a slow as a melee, and I didn't pick up Frostbrand or Hamstring because Hamstring is two of these little, whatever you want to call them. So I just did with the one, and it's the same thing, 50% for 6 seconds or whatever. And Rampage I picked up for crit, obviously, and it's just a good buff to have, and you need all the crit you can get. All right, so with the epic tier, I went with Avenger Shield. I just feel like it's very beneficial to have something that you can chuck at an enemy at a distance that silences them, mainly for the casters out there, that if they root you and your Hand of Freedom's on cooldown or something like that, you're stuck in the root and they're hard casting on you. I think that this would be very beneficial to take. So I haven't tested it out yet, so don't take my word for it, but I just feel like, if you're stuck in that scenario and you have nothing else to push, why not be able to silence them from a distance? I went with Bloodbath for the bleed and slow effect, Charge for my gap closer because Intercept wasn't really working out that great when I tested it. I was going to go with Shadow Step for some reason, but I just feel like Charge is better because it's a lower cooldown. You get 2 charges, and yeah, so I just think it's very nice. So like if you charge, Mage blinks, charge again, something like that. So for my burst, I went with Death Wish. The the increasing all damage taken by 5% is not really that bad. It doesn't stack up to any more, so it's not that bad in my opinion. And 2-minute cooldown, great, and it lasts 30 seconds. You know what I mean? So I just feel like you're only without it for a minute and a half. So yeah, I just think that's like one of the best bursts you can get out of all the choices running as a melee and not like a rogue build or something like that. For my disarm, I went with the warrior disarm as well as the warrior kick, the protection one, the shield bash. The reason why I went with this is because I went with gag order, so successful interrupts with shield bash, it silences them, and also disarms and shattering throws, it silences them as well. So I just think that's very beneficial, especially for casters. Just having any type of interrupting their time trying to cast is great. Shield Siegebreaker, I'm sorry, I went with this not only for the damage, but it knocks back the enemies, so it's basically just a free interrupt as well as doing a shit ton of damage, so I just think it's very great. Plus it's only 1 point in the epic tier, so yeah, you can't really beat that in my opinion. I went with Berserker Rage because I went with a talent that makes it to where it improves Berserker Rage, which I will get into in just a moment. And then for my stun, I went with Hammer of Justice, and it's a 5-second stun. I went with the improved Hammer of Justice talents to make it a 40-second stun, on par with Shockwave and Concussion Blow, but this is from my range, so I just think that it'd be very beneficial to get this, to be able to reach your target faster and whatnot. So yeah. All right, for the legendary tier, I went with more of a defensive type of build. So I got Pain Suppression for the damage reduction, and then I also got Unending Resolve for the damage reduction, but also for the Aura Mastery, so I can hard cast heals and whatnot if need be. I got Sprint and Hand of Freedom mainly as a combo because I can always freedom out of a root, and let's say the enemy has gotten away or something like that, so I can sprint towards them, and yeah, so I think those are very good to do. They're all low cost, so you get, I got 4 of them, And yeah, so next we're going to move on to the talents of everything. And yeah, we will start with Warrior. For the talents in Warrior, I went with 2 out of 2 in Impale, 3 out of 3 in Deep Wounds, 3 out of 3 in Taste for Blood, 3 out of 3 in Two-Handed Weapon Specialization, 5 out of 5 in Poleaxe Specialization, 2 out of 2 in Trauma, 2 out of 2 in Strength of Arms. I got Mortal Strike. I got 3 out of 3 in Improved Mortal Strike, 2 out of 2 in Unrelenting Assault, 2 out of 2 in Blood Frenzy, 3 out of 3 in Wrecking Crew, and Blade Storm. For Fury, I got 3 out of 3 in Armed to the Teeth, 5 out of 5 in Cruelty, Piercing Howl, 5 out of 5 in Enrage, Death Wish, 3 out of 3 in Raging Berserker, 3 out of 3 in Intensify Rage, and Rampage buff. Not improved Rampage, but just enough to get the buff. And then in the protection tree, I just got Gag Order for the silence buffs to the abilities. And yeah, so on to the Rogue. I just went into combat to buff Sinister Strike, which is going to be your main filler ability with this build. So I got 2 out of 2 in Improved Sinister Strike, 2 out of 2 in Blade Twisting, and yeah, that's it. Pretty simple. For Paladin, I went into the protection tree. I got Improved Hammer Justice, 2 out of 2, to reduce the cooldown of Hammer Justice by 10 seconds total. And then I went 3 out of 3 in Shield of the Templar in order to make Avenger's Shield 100% chance to silence an enemy when you chuck it at them. And yeah, that's it for the talents. I mainly went to Warrior because there's so many beneficial things that you can get. You know, you're going to be bleeding a lot, so Trauma is really nice to have. It increases the effectiveness of your bleed effects, and you have 3 bleeds with this build: Deep Wounds, Rend, and the Javelin that you get from Hoplite. Deep Wounds, obviously, I just mentioned. It's a good bleed. Taste for Blood, I got this because I got the for the kill Mystic enchant, and the Mystic enchant can proc the capstone bonus on this talent, and which is the basically Ren just deals 75% of weapon damage to the target instantly, instead of over time. You know what I'm saying? Well, as well as over time. And then you know, you're gonna have a 2-hander, so might as well get the 2-handed weapon specialization for the buffs. You're gonna have a polearm, so more crit. You know, Strength of Arms, it's a Mortal Strike buff, and Strength and Stam. Unrelenting Assault, I went with this. I got Overpower because Unrelenting Assault is really nice. It not only reduces the cooldown of your Overpower and increases the damage, but I mainly got it to where if they're casting and you press Overpower during their cast, their magical damage and healing will be reduced by 15% for a little bit. Blood Frenzy, because you know you get attack speed, and in addition, your Rend and Deep Wounds abilities also increase your physical damage to the target, and it's always going to be up. So 4% increased physical damage is amazing. Wrecking Crew, I believe, is really, really nice. Basically 15% damage buff to all your main abilities, aside from obviously Sinister Strike and Shield Slam. But yeah, I just think those are very nice. For Fury, I went with Enrage and Armor to the Teeth, because I'm sorry, not Armor to the Teeth, but Raging Berserker and Intensify Rage, because they all go hand in hand. Berserker Rage makes Enrage proc, and so does Blood Rage. So why not get those on shorter cooldown, as well as Death Wish, and then also the capstone bonus on Intensify Rage. It if you went with Pummel, you could silence the target as well. So I went with Gag Order instead, because I wanted to pick up the extra ability to be able to silence the target with Disarm as well as my kick. So that's why I went with Shield Bash instead of Pummel. Raging Berserker, you know, this is mainly for, in my opinion, and why I got it, is for the disarm reduction. So if you get disarmed, press Berserker Rage, not only for fears but for obviously disarms, to reduce the duration by 50%. So I think that's really, really nice. Armor to the Teeth I picked up because you're gonna have a shield, and shields usually have a lot of armor on them. So I think my shield has like 4,000 armor on it. So that's just a lot, you know, a lot more attack power. I think when I unlearned this talent and then learned it back, I think I got like between 300 and 500 attack power. I just can't remember the specific number. So it was around in that region, you know. So ooh, that was my chair. I just think this is very beneficial for damage and whatnot, especially just for this build specifically. Man, I cannot talk. For, yeah, like I said, in protection, I got Gag Order just for the silencing buffs. So yeah, I just believe this build will check all the boxes in my opinion. You know, it's all around a good build in theory. Yeah, so I will do some BGs. I will do some 1v1s as in arenas with this build and see how it goes. If you made it this far in this video, I want to tell you guys thank you so much for watching, and the next video that's going to be coming out is my little, I guess, let's play, not really a series, but let's play videos on the Conquest of Azeroth server that Ascension offers. So yeah, I just hope you guys look forward to that. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'm sorry there's not really much action or anything like that. I just don't have enough time right now. I have a lot to do. So yeah, thank you so much for bearing with me and all of my nonsense and rambling, and until next time everyone, happy gaming.